Hi guys, welcome to our class, welcome to our YouTube channel. Please like our videos and subscribe. In this video, we will learn how to determine the percentage compositions of an element in a compound. So the example that we want to look at specifically is water molecule. In water molecule, we want to determine the percentage of an element, that is the percent composition of an element in water molecule. We want to determine the percent compositions of hydrogen. We want to determine the percent compositions of oxygen. In order to determine the percent composition of each element in this compound, we must firstly determine the relative atomic mass of each element in this compound. So we need to determine that. We have two different elements here. We have hydrogen and that of oxygen. The atomic mass for hydrogen is 1 grams per mole. The atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 grams per mole. In water molecule, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen. So we'll do that. 1 grams per mole times 2 is 2 grams per mole. We count the oxygen. The atomic mass of oxygen is 16 grams per mole. 16 grams per mole times the number of atoms of oxygen here is 1. So 16 grams per mole times 1 is 16 grams per mole. In order to determine the relative molecular mass of this compound, it means that we must sum the relative atomic mass of each element. The relative atomic mass of hydrogen in this compound is 2 grams per mole. The relative atomic mass of oxygen in this compound is 16 grams per mole. So 2 grams per mole plus 16 grams per mole is equivalent to 18 grams per mole. Having determined the relative molecular mass of this compound, the relative molecular mass of oxygen, the relative molecular mass of hydrogen, we can now proceed to determine the percent composition of each element in this compound. The first element we want to start with is hydrogen. The percent of hydrogen in this compound is equal to what? To the relative atomic mass of hydrogen, relative mass of hydrogen, all divided by relative molecular mass of water, all times 100. The percent of hydrogen, the relative mass of hydrogen in this compound is 2 grams per mole. So we have 2 grams per mole all over. The relative molecular mass of water is what? 18 grams per mole times 100. 2 grams per mole cancel what? Grams per mole. Grams per mole here cancel what? Grams per mole. So 2 times 100 is 200 divided by 18 divided by 18. 2 grams per mole cancel grams per mole. 2 times 100 is 200 divided by 18. It is 11.111111. So the percentage of hydrogen in water molecule is 11.1111. 88.11%. So we have determined the percent of hydrogen in water molecule. The next one is we want to determine the percent of hydrogen. The percent, we have determined the percent of hydrogen. We want to determine the percent of oxygen. The percent of oxygen is equal to the relative mass of oxygen, all divided by the relative mass of water times 100. So the percent of oxygen, the relative mass of oxygen in our analysis is 16 grams per mole. So 16 grams per mole. Or the relative mass of water is 18 grams per mole. All times 100. Now we see that we have units that appear both in the numerator and the denominator. Grams per mole cancel grams per mole. So 18 it is in the denominator. Now we times 16 in the numerator by 100 is 1600. 1600 divided by 18 is 88.888. So the percent of oxygen is 88.88. Now we have determined the percent of oxygen in this compound. Let us summarize everything. We want to determine the percentage of an element in this compound. The compound is water molecule. The first thing we do is that we should determine a relative atomic mass of each element. The relative atomic mass of hydrogen in water molecule is 2 grams per mole. The 2 grams per mole came about the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 grams per mole times 2 atoms of hydrogen is equal to 2 grams per mole. Oxygen, we have 1 atom of oxygen. The atomic mass of oxygen is 16 grams per mole. 16 grams per mole times 1 is 16 grams per mole. So to find the relative molecular mass of this compound, it means that the relative molecular mass of this compound will be equal to what? The sum of the relative atomic mass of hydrogen plus the relative atomic mass of oxygen, and that is 18 grams per mole. To find the percent composition of an element in a compound, the percent composition of hydrogen here is equal to the relative mass of hydrogen. Means that the relative mass of hydrogen we get here all over the relative molecular mass of water. The relative molecular mass of water is this. The relative atomic mass of hydrogen is this. Now when we place those variables, the percent of hydrogen is equal to the 2 grams per mole or divided by 18 times 100. If we do that calculations, the percent of hydrogen is equal to 11.111. The percent of oxygen. The percent of oxygen in this analysis is equal to the relative mass of oxygen or divided by the relative mass of water or times 100. If we place those variables, the relative mass of water of oxygen is 16 grams per mole. The relative mass of water is 18 grams per mole. So grams per mole cancel grams per mole. 16 times 100 all divided by 18. The percent of oxygen will be equal to 88.88%. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch our videos. Please like our videos. Please share our videos. Please drop your comments. Have a nice day.